life is too short to live, so go live for it, or something stupid like that. And I was just sitting on the seats, and I was like, dang, I could have been watching Bodies right now, enjoying a film that I actually wanted to see.
Hi, my name's Steven.
And my name's Emily.
And this is Video Time Podcast.
And today we're going to be talking about the movie Fall.
So today we're going to be talking about the movie Fall. Me and Emily saw it just yesterday. Mm-hmm. And it was in between to go see the movie Fall or...
Bodies.
So me and my girlfriend, we went with Emily and we were going to go see a movie. But I had to be back at a certain time at my house. So we decided to see Bodies or Fall. But what happened was I picked the movie Fall because it ended earlier. It started faster and ended earlier. But Emily expected to see Bodies. So we were sitting down. The movie's started, or explain it, Emily.
Yeah. So like we were watching the trailers, and we were like deciding like, oh, this is a good movie. It's probably gonna be a good movie. So we were watching the trailers, right? And then it got to the movie part, and I was watching it, and the first scene is two mountains, and I was like, I don't think this is the movie's Bodies. And then it shows the girl that I've seen, I think her name's Hunter, from the trailer, and I was like, my dad chose Fall. And I think the reason that I really didn't click with this movie is because my experience got ruined, because I thought I was going to watch a whole entire other movie that I was expecting and excited to see. But my dad decided to surprise me by watching Fall.
Well, it wasn't a surprise. I picked it because I needed to go.
You didn't tell me. I was literally it's a surprise.
Well, Isabel knew.
Isabel did not know. She was I don't know.
Yeah, she knew. You knew, right? She's here. Okay. So today I have notes. So Fall is a survival thriller movie directed by Scott Mann. It's pretty much like a movie like Open Water, 127 Hours. Have you seen that movie, 127 Hours?
Oh yeah, where they're like underneath sharks or something?
No, that's Open Water. That's when they're in the water and they're just floating around. 127 Hours is where the guy, he's going like hiking, and then he falls and a rock falls on him. Ouch. Have you seen it?
You were telling me.
Yeah, I was telling you guys. A rock falls on him, and he's pretty much stuck there for 127 hours. And pretty much the only way to get out, because no one was coming to help him, is he had to cut his own arm off with a knife, a little pocket knife. So he had to cut his arm all the way through, and it's based on a real life story.
Like that type of horror movies, like survival horror, it really depends on it makes the audience feel stressful. Like you're worried, and you don't really expect like the things that are about to happen. So it's like any real life situation. And the movie Fall, I mean, although it was a survival horror movie, there were so many details that, in my opinion, did not really make sense to me and didn't really seem realistic. My dad said it was realistic enough, but just the characters didn't really fit well in the movie, and I thought they could do better, but I can't really blame them. The budget was, after all, $3 million. Yeah,
it was $3 million. So they had a budget of $3 million, and the actors who played was Grace Curry as Becky and Virginia Gardner as Hunter. So it was Becky and Hunter, the ones that climbed the radio tower. And the plot of the movie is pretty much two best friends, Becky and Hunter, find themselves at the top of a 2,000-foot radio tower stuck. So pretty much the main plot of the story is they go up onto a radio tower, they climb it, and they get stuck. They're stuck up there. But so pretty much, let me tell you a fact about this movie too. So I just found out, since they only had a $3 million budget, they couldn't shoot some parts. So they had to, the original dialogue had over 30 F-bombs and was dubbed out to make it a PG-13 film.
Oh my
So they had to dub out the F word to freak.
Yeah, there was like a
when
scene.
You see freak, when they were really saying the F word. But so what did you like the storyline of the movie?
I I mean, it's straightforward and it's understandable and it's clear, and really that's all you really need for a storyline. You don't want to watch a movie that's kind of confusing and just has so many.
It did have one
Well-
unnecessary part in it. Pretty much a love triangle with her best
Oh,
friend.
yeah, that-
like her boyfriend dies in the beginning, or her husband dies in the beginning,
yeah.
and then later we find out that she's they were having an affair.
Yeah.
Which is pointless because
With her friend?
It's really pointless because it doesn't help the movie at all. So it made no sense. I guess so it could be awkward when she's stuck up there with her,
Yeah.
but that's the only reason why. But other than that, it wasn't.
It was like
wasn't-
unnecessary.
The storyline. I mean, the storyline was pretty good because I love thriller movies, and like there was some parts where you're kind of nail biting, but other parts it was just a lot of talking.
Yeah.
Them figuring out like themselves, pretty much. They're
Yeah.
just talking about themselves, and I guess it was trying to have some heart-to-heart moments, but I didn't want that in a thriller movie or a
it didn't
survival
feel-
movie. I wanted to see
Yeah.
them like almost dying.
Yeah, like silence is a way to really put people off edge, you know, because like you see these characters and they're like all talkative, and then when they're put in the situation like that, they're not gonna be the same person they were before. But however, this movie showed that Hunter was like, she was still energetic and outgoing, and I don't know. I mean, like if you're stuck that high, I would like be stressing out, and if I was energetic before then, I would have like freaked out, and I think it would just be more realistic if Hunter, that character, could have stood like changed throughout, because like she was just, I don't know, she was just too energetic for me, and she didn't really fit in the movie. I mean, well, yeah, if you're gonna have an adventurous character,
Yeah,
at least
but
show
she was
her,
too-
yeah.
I don't know. She seemed too fake,
like yeah,
but
too
she was fake for her followers.
Oh yeah.
So, what did you think about the visuals? I thought some of it looked kind of fake.
Like
Like
what do you
in
mean?
the beginning, like how, like her husband started falling, and like it was really didn't it looked like super green screened.
Well, I wasn't.
But then it's $3 million budget.
Yeah, you can't really blame that, because like I just figured out that it was a 3 million hundred like
300 million. Jesus
300
Christ, that'd
million.
be a big
Oh my
ass
god.
movie.
3 million a 3
Oh, come on, you can
Yeah.
do it. You're 12 years old. You're a big girl. 3 million.
3 million a 3 million
Budget.
budget. Sorry. So I was kind of surprised to like notice that it was that short, because like when you're making a movie where like
Low budget.
Yeah,
like
low-
in the 10 millions
yeah.
and under. So
That's-
3 million super low budget.
And I mean, for that type of budget, they did a really good job at trying to make the audience off edge and making overall making a really good survival horror movie. It was, I mean, it's just like the movie was good, but it really, there was just like some details
It
that
was good, but not good.
What I think is good plot, but bad characters. That's
Yeah,
all.
the character.
Yeah.
So like the character Becky, like she was like, pretty much you can tell exactly what was going to happen. She was drinking, the classic shot of them drinking, empty beer bottles,
And it's
pills,
like,
and she's.
it wasn't
just the same
unexpected.
character.
It was just like basically every character that goes over grief when it comes to a character or like a soulmate that they love dying, and it's just like, oh, let me just drink and like
And then-
try to overdose, you know?
Yeah. And then Becky's dad was in it, who's actually, I don't know if you know who Jeffrey Morgan is. He's the guy from Walking Dead.
No.
He's Negan. He's the one that hits people in the head with the bats. That's who the dad is. But the dad, I don't know. The dad too, in the movie was just kind of
He was
pointless.
off.
He was just
yeah.
the person like, hey, change your life around. That's it.
Yeah.
So it could have pretty much been anybody. It could have been the mom. So
The
the character didn't really have
brother,
a
yeah.
purpose.
It's just these three characters: Hunter, the energetic girl that we were just talking about; Becky, the one that was supposed to grieve over
Or
her
was
love.
grieving
Yeah,
over
was
her
grieving.
husband.
Yeah. And so there's this scene where like they're climbing, and then Becky's husband ends up falling, and so then after that.
A year goes by.
Yeah,
and
a year
she's
goes by
grieving.
and she's grieving, and she's ignoring all her dad's phone calls, basically shutting the world away from her. So until one of her friends came over and was like, hey, you need to stop, like, you need to pass on. And basically Hunter, the friend that was like giving her like energetic comments and stuff, convinces her to like, let's climb this huge tall structure in the middle
Radio
of
tower.
nowhere.
Yeah,
Radio
in the middle of
tower.
nowhere.
And so Becky was like, all right, I'm gonna do this. And like, she was coming over herself, you know, all the
Getting
grieving.
over her
Yeah.
fears and
Yeah.
stuff.
All there was like motivation, like, I don't know, comments that
Mm-hmm.
Hunter was giving her, and then she was just basically convincing Becky. And so after that, like, they start getting everything ready, and eventually they do end up like in the middle of the desert at the structure, and they start climbing, and then that's when things get a little bit
they're
off.
climbing. It's pretty. That part was cool though. That was probably
Yeah.
the most coolest part of that film was them climbing.
Yeah.
Because it was cool because you can hear like the wind blowing, the sound of the ladder hitting
That part put me off edge, and I was like,
yeah, that was a really good
Yeah.
off part edge, because then like bolts started falling off. You see how rusted everything
Yeah.
is, and it's just scary going up one by one ladder and stuff like that. So that was a good part. So once they get finally up to the top, and when they're climbing, things are breaking when
Yeah.
they're going up.
and they like, I mean, they were so high that like they can't like just back down.
Mm-hmm. And
And-
like they're
yeah.
too, and one thing I did hate about this movie is
What?
they're supposed to be like year-round climbers, and
Oh,
yet they
yeah.
have no muscles.
Okay.
Like, they just look like regular people.
That's what I mean by unrealistic. So
Mm-hmm.
the characters Hunter and Becky, they have the motivation to be able to be climbing this stuff, you know. Well, not Becky, because she stopped after, you know, grieving for her husband's death. But however, Hunter, I guess she's been doing that after, you know. So she's been like, she yearly climbs, you know, rock climber or whatever. But she has no muscles. They both came unprepared to
Yeah,
the
they're
tower.
really
They only
unprepared.
had one bag, a water bottle, and I guess some makeup. Like, that's and like I guess a strap around them. Like, what? When you're supposed
One
to be one rope. And I'm like, don't you be more like, can't you be more prepared and like ready
Mm-hmm.
to be climbing things like that? I guess not. I don't know. I'm not a rock climber myself, so
So pretty much they get to the top of the tower, and then they make it. They're happy, and right when they're about to go down, the ladder breaks, and it doesn't
Yeah.
break. There's like 50 feet in between them
Yeah.
before the next, or 50 feet in between them before the like satellite dishes, and then after that is another 50 feet before the actual ladder.
yeah. So then that only like one part of it breaks off, but that's the part where they actually have to go down. So that part breaks and they start freaking out, but Hunter, the energetic character, she's like, it's all right, it's like calming down, and she's like, they're thinking of all these ideas of like trying to get down. And what was the first idea? I actually forgot.
So the first idea was they got their cell phone and
Oh,
they
yeah.
put it in the shoe, and then they threw it down. Like they text, because they had no service, so they
Yeah.
had no service at the top.
Obviously,
But
every
they
horror
they
survival
did
movies
know
like that.
they had service at the bottom, because Hunter, she posted something and she was
Oh,
getting
yeah.
likes and stuff like that. So they figured if they dropped the phone, it would get service. But when they dropped the phone, it shattered.
Yeah, it shattered, and they didn't even get to see it shatter. So it was like
They
they're-
didn't know.
Yeah, they didn't know. So, their second attempt was
Them trying to get the water bottles.
yeah.
So they were getting hungry, not hungry, but they were getting
like
thirsty,
or
and they were wanted to get the water. So then they started going all the way down.
yeah,
Or no, they didn't go down. Hunter went down.
Yeah.
She kind of figured like, hey, I can get down and then get the bag. So she went down. She got the bag, and then as she was going up, Becky was pulling her up, and then she kind of fell. But then Becky re-caught her and then
Yeah.
pulled her all the way back up again.
Well, later on in the film, we get to see that
Big spoiler alert.
Yeah, big spoiler. I don't know. The character is actually dead the whole time. After that,
Yeah.
when it dies, it dies. Like when it dies, it dies.
When she dies.
When she dies, I'm sorry. When she dies, she dies, and she, like, I guess it was a like what is that word again? Like
What?
it was just her. It was, I guess it was
Halluc-
Becky. Yeah, hallucination. I guess it was Becky and her. Like it was. I guess it was just Becky was so stressed out that like she started
saw her
seeing
there.
things. Yeah, and like imagine it.
Hunter.
Yeah, like kind of like a coping
Mechanism.
Yeah, mechanism. Ugh. Whatever. So when she realizes that, like throughout the film, you get to see like you actually think Hunter's there, like with Becky.
I think that's where they killed
Yeah.
the movie too. I think if they would have just killed her off, like just let her showed that Hunter died right from that point, I think it would have been more better because it would have been Becky alone up there by herself, and I think it's more scarier when you're by yourself.
Yeah.
When you're doing something, because then it's only you.
Well, I think like what they should have done was like they should have went in and out with that idea. So like sometimes you'll see scenes with Becky with Hunter, and then the audience already knows, but you still got those scenes where Becky's seeing things, and like I don't know, this is just an idea, but just like
So
imagine,
you're like, she's
in
losing
and
her
out.
mind.
Basic, yeah,
Like,
that
you
would have
see
been
her
easier.
Losing her
Yeah.
mind. So you're like, oh crap, she's losing her mind. She might
that-
jump off.
Yeah, like things like that could have made the film so much better, but at the same time, the budget and
Yeah, 3 million.
Yeah.
That's super low. So it was good for 3 million. Mm-hmm. Now that I know that it was 3 million.
Yeah, we
it was
didn't know.
Good. Yeah.
So
Okay, so
the thing that I wanted to talk about that I really hate was like the end line, because like like at the end when everything like goes to an end and the police are there, they actually save her. We'll get into how she gets saved and how like the police gets there or whatever, but I'm just skipping this whole part because I really want to talk about this. And I hate when they have those like end lines where it's like basically Becky, it was like in voiceover, and it was like Becky was saying some like inspirational stuff like life is too short to live, so go live for it, or something stupid like that. And I was just sitting on the seats, and I was like, dang, I could have been watching Bodies right now, enjoying a film that I actually wanted to see.
I'm sorry.
It's
I had to get
okay.
back fast. But it was a nice theater.
Yeah, it was actually a really nice theater. I enjoy that theater so much. It's like 80s themed. That was the only thing
It's the West Covina. What is it called? Yeah. What is it? Edwards? Yeah. Oh, it's the West Covina Edwards Theater in West Covina. Mm-hmm. It's a really nice theater.
I really like it. That also made my experience better, you could say.
Yeah, that theater makes everything.
But
better.
what ruined it was my dad telling me that I was gonna watch a whole entire other film. Like I was sitting down and I was like getting ready, hyped up, like I'm gonna be watching bodies or whatever. And then like the first shot is like two mountains, and I'm like, okay, I guess it's gonna start.
Bodies. What do you
Well,
know
like
so far?
I know that it's a slasher film about like a bunch of well, it's like a mystery slasher film where like they're trying to find out who killed who, you know. And it's about a bunch of teenagers, and it's a horror, dark comedy type of film. And especially like what I've been talking about, I really enjoy those films. So
And then I
was
took
like,
it to go see
yeah, I was really
Fall.
excited. And so when I was sitting in the theaters, first scene is two mountains, and I'm like, okay, I guess this where it's gonna be taking place at is in the middle of nowhere. And then there's another scene, and it's those two girls, and well, not Hunter yet, but it's the husband and Becky. And I don't really remember Becky from the trailer, so I was like, okay, I guess they're rock climbing now. I don't know who these teenagers are, but I can't wait to watch Bodies, you know. And then it shows that one girl, Hunter, from the trailer that I really remember, and I was like, we're watching Paul, are we? And I just wanted to make sure, so I turned to Isabel, and I was like, what film are we watching? And she was like, I don't know, I think we're watching Fall. And
She knew. She knew.
She seemed like she didn't know.
She did know. Did you know?
Yeah, just that Emily seemed confused. So I was like, wait, you didn't know?
Well, no, because I thought I was watching Bodies.
Yeah, it was Fall.
It was Fall.
Yeah.
That ruined my whole experience.
So out of Fall, what was your favorite part of the movie?
My favorite, I know you said it was like unnecessary, but I do like that. Scene where like Hunter is bringing down Becky, like telling her like, what, did you really think you could pull me up? And I was like, dang, that must have been hard, like her going insane. I just wish they did it sooner, instead of waiting that long.
Yeah. So the part where we find out that
Hunter is actually
dead.
is dead. And I like the scene where like the crows are like, eating her.
Not crows, they're
not vultures.
vultures.
See, I'm good with my birds. Vultures eating her. So
Okay, and what's the part that you hated the most? Or did I ask that first? Yeah, no. What's the part? What's the part that you hated the most?
Man, I hated the part with the electronic, like the drone with the light bulb. Like, no, that's not gonna work. And like, Cindy. Why do I keep on saying Cindy? Cindy's my best friend. Anyways, Becky, she must have like gorilla grip or like superpowers to be able to stay that long for like 4 hours to wait in charge of like drone. Like, no, like, and then imaginary Hunter was like, come on, just think you're a stripper. No. That's not gonna work. How are you gonna stay on a pole for that long for 4 hours to wait for a darn drone? And then there was birds. Like, I don't even think vultures go that high. Excuse me. It just didn't make sense, and I hated that part with every single part of me. And I just thought it was realistic. And the diner scene too, with like the light bulb. Like, oh my gosh, I learned that hack from YouTube. Like, let me just flex about it. Like, no, that's unrealistic, and I just hate when parts like some movies do that. Like, they start to bring social media, like, as like a person who use like internet, like not internet, but like social apps. That I just think it's unrealistic.
Yeah,
like,
it's unrealistic.
No, I'm not gonna climb.
Charge your phone through a light bulb.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna charge my phone through a light bulb.
How to do that.
Yeah, or I'm not gonna climb like the first America's hugest tall tower just for some internet and views and likes or whatever. It's just I was so disappointed. I was just sitting there and I was like, dang, I could have been watching bodies right now.
Okay, so my favorite part of the movie is pretty much, I don't even think I have a favorite part of the movie. My favorite part of the movie actually is when they're climbing, because the sound design, because it just sounded cool, and
I know,
you can
and
hear the wires
scared.
like making all those weird noises, and it was pretty intense. And the part that I disliked about the movie the most was
all the film. I'm just kidding.
Pretty much the love triangle. That was like
that was so unnecessary and
it was super
stupid.
Unnecessary.
I'm sorry.
And I called that from like a mile away.
I know, like, it's the tattoo.
Like, right when I saw a hand inside a picture, because she was like, "Oh, who's that in the picture?" and saw the hand. Why would they even show that? So once they show something like that, you're like, okay,
I thought something
that's the
totally.
boyfriend, because that's the only other guy in the movie. Or the dad, but
I thought something different. Like, I thought it was like gonna be another like person at first, but like it's because I wasn't paying attention, because I was so sad that I wasn't watching the movie Bodies. Like, most of the time I was just like looking around trying to find a comfortable spot to watch the movie, and I was just like, dang, I could have been watching Bodies.
I'm gonna take you to see Bodies this week.
He owes me.
Okay, and from a 1 through a 10, knowing the budget was only $3 million. Would you tell someone to go see this movie? From a 1 through a 10, how do you rate the movie? 10 being the best.
Okay, 5.
A 5?
Well, this is like if this movie had more of a bigger budget, then I would give it like a 3 or probably 2. But the only reason I'm giving it a 5 is because I understand that like it's difficult to make a movie. It's difficult to try to make characters.
Reshoot things, but
I'm just a 12-year-old speaking from my dad's room with a bunch of posters and decorations with like torn up. Like, no, I can't give my whole idea and like criticize a movie for what they made. It's still a movie, and it still counts as a good movie. So I'm giving it a 5. And like, overall, the movie was okay. It's not like, oh my gosh, you gotta see this movie. It's gonna make you like pee your pants or something. Like, oh my gosh, it's like nail biting. No, like that's like the thing about most survival horror movies. Like, I'm not really a big fan of them. Yeah, well, it has to be realistic. It has to be good, and it has to be like a good timeline. You have to.
I'll show you 127 hours then.
That one's probably good. The only reason I got it confused with the shark one is because there's one where like
48 meters.
48 meters down or something like that.
So I give that movie
5.
I'll give that movie a 5 as well.
Okay.
In the middle. I mean, it wasn't trash, but it was good.
Yeah.
Just some parts should have just not been in there. That's it.
It was, I think, like, if you have the time to, and if you like survival horror movies, then I guess you could watch it. I mean, I don't know. It's like there was so much I wanted to talk about it during the movie, and no, I'm not a talkative person
And
during the movie theaters.
And what I wanted to do was have a talk about review Bullet Train, but Emily didn't want to do Bullet Train.
No, I was
we've
like,
seen Bullet Train too, but she just wanted to talk about fall.
So like the
she
other
had some
day
really
we watched
good stuff about fall.
Like the other day we were watching Bullet Train, and then my dad was like, okay, the next day he was like, okay, we're gonna be watching the movie. We're either going to be watching the movie Bodies, Bodies or Fall. And I was like, I've seen people talk about the movie Fall, but like I clearly skipped that because of spoilers, you know. But like I seen some comments where like Fall was bad, it was dumb. I mean, it wasn't dumb or bad, it's just like it really didn't fit with me. But just knowing that you're gonna watch a movie and then watch a whole totally other different movie killed it for me. Like it's like going to watch Frozen and then end up watching a knockoff version of Frozen. Like, no, this is not what I wanted. So, I mean, it's all right. He had a tough schedule, but we were originally gonna review Bullet Train.
That was a good one.
That one I really enjoyed.
We are gonna review it, so that'll be coming soon.
Yeah, but overall, this movie was decent, and if you have the time to, you should watch this movie. I mean, I don't really like to give my opinions because I know like
you do give your opinions.
I mean,
all the time.
I'm giving my opinions right now, but it's just confusing. Like it really depends on the person, and like if you're a toddler watching this, or like if I was like probably 5 or 6, I would be like, oh my gosh, this is the most terrifying movie. Or you're someone like my dad who watches movies like this all the time. It really depends on the person and what you think about it. So, decent movie. Sorry.
Well, that concludes our episode for this. Well, that concludes this episode for Video Time Podcast. If you haven't already, go ahead and follow us on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram under Video Time Podcast. You can find us on Spotify, and go ahead and give us a follow. Let us know how we're doing, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
Bye.